What is going on, everyone who is watching this after it's been recorded? Because we have no one on here right now. We're going to just hang out and see if any of our followers join. Back in the day, they used to once in a while, but I'm hoping it's 5:40 Central Time. I'm hoping within an hour we have some people join and we can do some Q&A and figure out why my channel isn't growing, because I hired a editor and I feel like our content's better, our images are better, our verbiage is better, but we're not pulling the people that I would think we would pull, like new followers and stuff. We're not growing any more than we were when I was all over the place. So we're almost a minute. I don't think it's ever taken more than a minute to get people in here. So this isn't good. Oh, we got 2 people now. I don't know how to use this new live screen. So if you are here, say hi in the comments, because I have no idea. Can you guys hear me? Thumbs up, something? I don't know. We got 2 viewers, it says, but I can't. Usually it would like pop up. Ah, there we go. Martin's here. Thank you, sir. Someone else left. Are you a powder coater? The name doesn't ring a bell. Nice. Are you from Australia? UK. All right. They say mate there too. What time is it over in UK right now? It's got to be like super freaking late, right? That's our army time. Yeah, you're pushing midnight, man. Did you I assume you had a good holiday and you're just enjoying the day, but the point of this live is to try and talk to as many people as I can to figure out what we could do on the channel to maybe bring more eyes in, because we're not getting the viewership that we should be. I should set up my phone and do a live TikTok too. I'm trying to get, like, I don't feel like we're gaining the viewership we should. Our followers aren't growing. So if you're in the powder coating world, or maybe you're not, you just want to talk business, because obviously I've been in business forever. What do you guys want from the channel? There's 5 of you here now. So feel free to chime in, type in the comments. Let me know what you guys would like to see in the channel. Setting on guns. Okay. Martin, what kind of gun do you have? Because guns differ. So not a setting on a GEMA gun is not going to work on an Electron gun. It's not going to work on a Wagner gun, which I don't even know how to set up. And, you know, all that kind of stuff. I can give you generic information. Okay. So you got a GEMA. The other problem you're going to have when you're setting up a gun is what your consumables are like. So I sell GEMA now, and the biggest problem we are having is that the GEMA guns, or not the GEMA guns, my Electron guns. We've sold hundreds of these Electron guns, and people are not buying spare parts, which I don't understand, because I'm going to try and go live on TikTok too. You start wearing out your internals. So there's insert pumps, there's electrodes, there's tips. All that stuff wears out over time with the powder going through it, because the powder is very abrasive. It's like cardboard. And sorry, I'm typing. And so you got to replace those parts as they wear out. You got to replace them, or your gun starts suffering. And if they're worn out, now you got to increase your air. You got to increase your fluidizing. You got to do a lot of things. You got to change your KV settings, your UA settings as everything wears out. And people, we just had this conversation in my shop today. with one of my painters, because on Monday we were closed Tuesday, Wednesday for Christmas Eve and Christmas. But on Monday, she noticed that the insert was like worn out. Like if the hole should be that big, it was that big, and that's worn out. You're increasing your air settings and all that kind of stuff. And if you don't increase it, you're getting less powder because your air volume through there just isn't working. So you got to increase your air to get more powder or to keep the same amount of powder going through the gun. And they weren't doing that. And we had the week before Christmas, we had the worst week we had this whole year as far as gross out the door and as far as redo work. Like we had so much redo work. We just got caught up today on redo work, and it's been miserable. I change parts every month, but have trouble with silver spitting. Yep. So do you have a box feed, Martin, I assume? Aruba. That's a wild way out there. Sorry, guys. I'm trying to get this live going with TikTok. I don't know if anyone will actually get on here, but I need to grow that channel more. I'm getting a lot of influencer stuff. So with the box feed with silver, depending upon if it's bonded or not bonded, you've got to kind of crank up your fluidizing air and get the powder kind of bubbling more in the box. They tend to stick. It's just the thing with metallic. So you increase your fluidization air a little bit, and then up your air settings a little bit. And then when they come out of the gun, I'm assuming what you mean by their what'd you say? I thought you said they're sticking or something. I change parts every month, but I have trouble with silver spitting. So they'll clump up and stuff. So maybe your fluidization will help with that a little bit. But when you do your final pass, shake that gun. So we say we're painting the calendar behind my head, right? We're gonna paint the calendar, and then we'll do the up and downs too. This is hard. I'm like a weatherman. It's backwards. And then we'll come back and we'll shake the gun like this. And as it's shaking, the tip of the gun is breaking up that powder, and it's going to distribute your metallics evenly, because what you're really missing is a hopper. You need a hopper to fluidize it really well, and then you won't have to worry about it. So, sorry, I was taking a photo, I think, for TikTok. So if you shake the gun at it, it will help distribute it evenly, and that actually works on metallics, and it also works on like textures and that sort of thing. So you got to be careful with heavy powders, and when you put metallics into there, they get really heavy. So hopefully some other people join. We're up to 4 people now, but if you guys have the Philippines, good Lord, man, anyone, man, everyone's all over the place. I'm live on TikTok too. I'm live on YouTube. I'm doing both. So you guys are going to see me bounce back and forth trying to read comments. You have to hot flock all day with, so you're hot flocking with like metallics. Is that what you're having to do? Because that's not a good thing. Also, make sure your hooks are clean. If your hooks aren't clean, you're not going to get that transfer, which usually that's why, yeah. So usually people, if they're hot flocking, it's because their gun sucks, their parts are worn out, or they can't get the paint to stick, which means your ground's probably junk. Although with a good gun, I swear to God, you don't need a ground other than to just keep you safe so you don't shock yourself. So TikTok's weird to watch. So like YouTube, I'm at like 5, and then like personal drop off, personal join. TikTok, it's like join, leave. It's crazy, like the difference between the two. So it's the way the wheel company is work to do. What company is work for do it? Oh, okay, I see. So Martin, do you work for a wheel company and that's who you're painting for? Because I believe I met some people that work for wheel companies, and they typically will do like a powder prime, and then they'll do a liquid silver mid coat because of your metallic problem, and then they'll do a powder clear coat on top. because they just can't figure out the metallics when they're spraying them. All of you guys on TikTok, if you're powder coaters and you have a question, please type them into the comments. Same with my YouTube friends here. We're going live on both. So if you're on my Right Now Powder Coating TikTok, you're seeing me. If you're on my YouTube, obviously we're live too, but I'm here answering questions. And then any feedback you guys can give me if you're in the powder coating world or want to learn about powder coating, leave a comment and let me know what we could do to get you to follow our YouTube channel, because I feel like we're slacking off and you guys aren't following, but we're putting out stuff constantly, like constantly on YouTube. Right Now Powder Coating. And our views are no different in the last 3 months that we've put out at least one long form every week, 5 short, basically every week in the last 3 months compared to the year before where we didn't do anything. So let me know what we could do to get you guys to subscribe. And then we've got 6 people on YouTube. If you guys have questions, type them in. Martin, thank you for, if you have any more questions, let me know. I don't know if I answered your question. I went off on a topic there, but I've got maybe another 50 minutes on here live to answer questions. If you have anything about business, powder coating, equipment, anything like that, I'm happy to answer it. So, and I'm, again, both live on TikTok and YouTube. And people just aren't typing. We're up to 7 people. If you're on here, just like it. If you're on YouTube, like it right now. If you're on TikTok, just like it. I've got 1 like, guys. We've had like 40 people join the, thank you. League, who was that? I don't know who did it. We got a couple likes now. I appreciate that. Apparently you just have to ask. We've got 8 likes now. All right. That's, or no, 4 likes. That's my bad. Anyone have questions about powder coating or business in general? I'm happy to answer. So we got 7 people on there on the or the YouTube. We've got 7, 8 on TikTok. People are joining like crazy. There must not be a lot of lives on TikTok. I don't know what you guys think, but I've got like 4,500 people on TikTok. And when I'm scrolling TikTok, there's never anyone live on there, other than like a couple girls trying to get you to like follow them. They're all like this, like hiding. They're like, watch me, I might do this. And I'm just, it's boring as shit. Although I do see a lot of people doing like fighter games and stuff like that, which is kind of cool. It's one of the worst jobs in the heat of the day. Are you talking about like powder coating wheels? I guess where you're at, is it hot now in Aruba? It's probably, no, you're not in Aruba. Where are you from? I forget where you're from. Where are you from, Martin? In Iowa right now, it's cold as shit, so it's gorgeous in our shop. My daughter must be on here because someone is just lighting up the likes, and that's usually what she does, but I missed seeing if she joined. Avery, if you're on my live, comment, because she just taps. I bet she's on my live. Someone I know is on my live. This is telling me to swipe to see comments. Are people commenting and I can't see them? No, I don't want to cancel. I don't know how to use Facebook or TikTok clearly. So we got 5 people on the YouTube channel, and we've got 1 guy asking questions. Is there anyone else has any questions, or on my TikTok side? The fun thing about TikTok is none of these people are into powder coating, and so they join. Just seeing a live, they're like, click in, click in, click in. And then they hear me talking about powder coating. They're like, I'm out. So UK, you should be cold, right? It's cold weather in the UK. It's not warm there, right? Doesn't make any sense. Who is liking all my stuff? I can't keep up with both screens. I just learned. I'm up to 126 likes on my live, though, so I'm just going to hang out and let it go. Oven is 220, I assume Celsius, which I don't know what that is Fahrenheit. We run our ovens at 420 Fahrenheit. Well, our batch ovens, and then we run our conveyor system oven at 430. It's got 3 big openings, or no, 4. So dry off side and oven side, there's 2 and 2. So our shop is pretty small. It's only like 4,400 square feet, and it heats it up. So I'm in an old fire station. It's not very big, but we have 4 overhead doors, and we crack all the doors just to let the heat in and out, or out, I guess, the cold in, heat out. So yeah, it gets pretty warm. It gets pretty warm in the powder coating world. In July and August, we're hitting like 120, 130 degrees Fahrenheit in our shop, which is not a good time. That's probably the hardest time to keep employees, just because it's rough. This side of the office where I'm at now is air conditioned, so we definitely try to keep them in here and let them cool off and recoup, because that's everyone's like, oh, it's not that big, 120 degrees. Oh, I can do that. Yeah, well, you can do that till you're standing in it for 4 or 5 hours and you're about to die. So it is not a good time. So anyone else on these channels? I haven't seen any comments on the TikTok side, which means they don't have my algorithm figured out. They're showing it to every single person in the world, and they're not showing it to powder coaters. But obviously on the YouTube side, I assume the 7 of you guys are powder coaters. I've been in the coating and blasting game for 30. You got me beat, man. I'm nowhere near that. I'm like 10 years in. So I don't know. I know maybe a third of what you know. I think the thing I've realized is like people just are afraid of the comments they'll get if they share the information they know, and so they don't share it. And I was like, I'm sick and tired of the bad information on YouTube. So, oh, nice, 12 years. So I was just like, I'm going to start sharing videos on powder coating, and it didn't take me long to realize I got to just ignore the comments, because everyone has a comment and they know better. I did a video on TikTok about the Vivor gun. I don't know how to say it, but I had one guy who said Vivor, I think is how you say it. And how I thought it was better than the Eastwood gun. And that's an honest review. I've used them both. I think the Vivor gun is better. I've got videos on it. I don't lie about it. If it wasn't better, I wouldn't say it. I would just be like, I powder coated with the Vivor gun. And I mean, they sent it to me for free, but they didn't tell me I had to be nice about it. I honestly think it does a better job. But the only comment I keep getting is, where was your mask? It's like, well, I wear a mask normally. But to talk on camera, it's very hard with a mask. It's got to be my daughter. We're almost like 300 likes now on TikTok, and I've got 7. I wonder if I can look. No, it's not my daughter. Someone's being really nice out there. I don't know who you are, but thank you. Let's see. Hold on. My partner and I are 6 months in AHA. What the hell's AHA? AHA? I don't know what that is. We just bought our first big machine, the orange one you use. So they got an Electron. You spoke to me and then, okay, that's cool. I haven't seen any commission from Electron on that one, but I'm just saying, I sell these guns all around the world, and the only place I sell them for other distributors in America. Like, I know I do. Like, I sell them, but they go to other people that sell them in America, and that's frustrating as hell. So, who's hitting all the likes? Someone tell me. They're being awful nice. Like, my finger would be tired. Am I a Trump supporter? Yes, I am, because I'm pro-business. Do I like everything he says? No, but I do not like the other side and what they try to force on you and all that stuff. So I will be blunt about that. My family is tired of watching Fox News. I am sure of it. No new comments on we're up to 7 people on YouTube and no one's commenting. Although I have seen my first comments on TikTok. So if I'm looking over here, by the way, YouTube, I'm on TikTok. If I'm looking over here, TikTok, I'm on YouTube. So I'm bouncing back and forth. So Martin, you're looking forward to my new content, but what do you want? What do you guys want to see? Like, I feel like we're putting out a ton of content and nobody cares. Like, is it because I'm not trying to compare myself to someone else that has a channel who has more people than me, but doesn't really do a whole lot. And he works for someone else and doesn't have his own company. But like, do you just want us to show you we don't do a lot of cool stuff anymore, but we can show you us doing stuff. Like we've got bathroom partitions we're doing right now. We can record that footage and show it to you guys if you really want. Like we'll do whatever. I don't care. I don't know how this one guy has joined the live 15,000 times. It's impressive. Invite. How do I invite people as a guest? How's the S10 progress? Good question. Not great. I have not worked on the S10 in a long time, but I've got big plans for 2025. I've got a really good crew established now. They should free me up for a little bit so I can get back to it. Do you sand powder coat primer before the next coat? Robert, I do not. So if you have a bare part and you put primer on it, do not cure it out all the way unless it calls for that. You actually just want to do a partial cure, gel it out, put your top coat on it, and then they will cross-link into each other. If you do a full cure on it, then you're going to need to rough it up with like Scotch-Brite or 220 or 320, give it a mechanical bite. But if you don't do a full cure, the components that are inside of the powder are meant to bond with each other. They will cross-link into each other, and you'll be good to go on your top coat. Thank you for the question. That was a good question. Looking forward to all your new content. I need more on settings and batters. We do plan on doing some more videos on earth grounding parts because we go into a lot of my partner Ray, we sell Electron. We go into a lot of companies or we sell guns and they're like, your gun's not working. And then usually when we get there, we find out their hooks are really coated with powder and all that stuff. Grounding is not hard. If you got bare metal to bare metal to bare metal to bare metal, you can go all day long. It doesn't matter. You just got to make sure it's all bare metal. We do a lot of motorcycle parts, and I'm a fabricator by trade. So any metal work I pull and I try to convince. That makes sense. My conveyor system I did not build. I bought it used from a company 5-ish hours away from me. It came up on one of the sell sites here in America, and I jumped all over it. It was actually pretty cheap. I think it was like $65,000 shipped to me. And then I probably, unfortunately, had to put another $65,000 into my building to make it work because I had to upgrade power, upgrade air. I had to build it. I had to pay. Actually, the guy who built the system originally is just north of me in Iowa. He's not far. It's like 45 minutes. He came down and redid the gas lines, wired it all in. That costs a lot of money. We had to do the stacks through the roof. That costs a lot of money. So it almost costs just as much to install that as it was basically the same to install it as it was to buy it. But it 4x'd our output, which obviously was worth it. You should come check out S10 Nation and all Truck National setup booth. Carlisle? I'm not sure what that is. I follow a lot of S10 groups on like Facebook and stuff because I want to bag it. I know that. And I want to put, I've got a V8 out of my 78 Corvette that's down a cylinder and I want to rebuild that motor. That's my new passion. That's what I'm going to work on this next year. Maybe. I don't know. It scares the crap out of me to rebuild a motor. I know how to pull them out, put them in. But it scares me with tolerances and stuff to build a motor and put it in a truck. And I'd like it to have a lot of horsepower and a lot of fun because it's not going to weigh anything. I'm not even going to put like everything back in the truck. I'm going to make it like a like a S10 race truck, like you'd find in NASCAR or something. It'll be cool. No powder coating vendors. No, there probably wouldn't be. So when you're a powder coater and you go to like car shows and stuff, I've never had that much luck. Maybe other people have. If you're on any of these and you've had luck, let me know. But those guys are usually the cheapest. They don't want to spend money. They want it to look really cool. They want two tones. They want clear coats, metallics, gold, all that stuff. They want the most amount of work for the least amount of money, and it doesn't pay anything. Now, you will get the occasional person that has a lot of money and can afford to do the custom work, but most of them don't. So I get why you wouldn't want to be a vendor at a car event, S10 event, any car show, that sort of thing. You might pull wheels if you're cheap, but I learned like 2-3 years ago, like I was making payments on my business. I was paying me a salary. I was paying my employees. I was paying the overhead, but my company was not making money. And the problem when your company doesn't make money is you can't grow your company. You can't buy new equipment. You can't invest in the future. You can't put money away for things that might happen. You can't put money away for new equipment. You can't put money away to grow your space. And when you go from a very small person to a very big person, like company wise, to hire people, to make sure you have enough in the bank to payroll if things go bad, like you have to charge enough. And those car groups, they don't care. You're my buddy. You're in the car group. Give me a deal. And it just drives me nuts. Built my oven myself. I built a 4x8 oven. I've been trying to figure out how to build that conveyor system you have. I love it. Amen to the car guys. They're cheap. Yeah, so you can do a conveyor system yourself. It's not easy. We sell them at Electron. They're not cheap, but they are a lot less than most other suppliers, and it's really high quality stuff. And the reason we're cheaper is we don't have the staff out in the field, at least in America. Where you're from, it might be different, but conveyor systems, if you have the work for them, they are amazing. You can't beat them. First car guys asks is what discount they're getting. Yeah, no, what I get with car guys is I've got a bunch of buddies. They all have cars and they all want powder coating work done. If you do me a favor, I'll get you hooked up with them all. And that drives me nuts. I loved when all those memes or those videos came out, and it's like detailers washing open space, and they're like, just washing all the cars that I got from the recommendations for the discounts I gave. I almost did a video like that, but I don't like to jump on trends because I don't like to follow people. But I just thought those were hilarious. I'm like, yep, I've had a bunch of those people that are like, oh, you do this for like half that, and I'll get you so much work. That's the first thing like motorcycle car guys say is, oh, I have all my work done at this shop and I'll recommend you there and you'll have so much work you'll be buried. It's like, yeah, no, that doesn't happen. It just doesn't happen. Right, Richard? Yeah. Like I've hosted car shows. I've hosted like 5 car shows in my town, small town. We get like anywhere from 20 to 50 cars. And everyone's like, man, you must just be getting a ton of business. Like, no, these guys aren't powder unless they're doing a frame off restoration. They're not powder coating it. And the last place they want to spend money is in powder. Like they think liquid paint is so much more expensive than powder, but we're doing the same prep work. You know what I mean? Except for we don't have fillers that will fill dents that will go through our oven like they do. Our fillers 10x the cost. So it's like frustrating as hell. But yes, car shows are not a great place to get business. Motorcycle guys, you'll get business. You just won't make any money or they'll walk away. I started pricing stuff the way I had to price it. My life has never been better. Like they just go off to the garage coders, not to diss garage coders, but that's where they need to be. Like those garage coders have a position in the industry where they can afford to do that because they don't have my overhead. I got lucky, Juan, with the industrial stuff. Yes, Avery, I'm on live. There's my daughter. She joined on TikTok. The industrial stuff kind of just showed up. We had a company that started taking some of their manufacturing in-house, and they were testing a bunch of different powder coaters, and they sent out a guy who knew his stuff. Like, he did his research, and he was asking me, like, how many mils do you spray? What kind of powders are you spraying? How do you prep? How do you decide if you do a primer? How do you know if it's UV state? Like, he just knew way too much. So I was like, okay, we got to take this serious. So we made sure everything we did for them was quick and perfect. And basically they went from using like 4 or 5 different coaters, and now in the last year they've just come to us. But we've also put that line in just for them. So they didn't give me a guarantee. We don't have a contract. It was a risk. I mean, it was a big risk. It was a big financial risk. So, oh, Quinn's on too. Oh, yes, Quinn, Bob, I'll shout you out to the 7 people watching my TikTok. I'm sure Mom's watching too, if you guys are all watching. But I hate when they expect powder to look like a top wet paint. Yeah, so powder, I mean, you can get good finishes with powder, though. It depends on the part. It depends on the powder. So, you know, there's how you lay it down, and then also like what kind of powder it is. 5,000 square foot warehouse. We fabricate and powder coat out of. Any way we can help sell your products here, we will. If you're talking about our powder coating guns, we do take on some distributors, but they have to be sales oriented. So you can't just be in the powder coat industry and know like a handful of people. So your main goal has to be to sell powder coating equipment, and then we will vet you and work with you and see if you would be a good addition to the CTSA INC team in selling electron powder coating. But if you're out there just talking it up, I'm happy with that too. I have got to turn off that. Does sandblasting before powder coat last longer? Sandblasting is a really, really good way to prep your parts. As long as your parts are clean and you sandblast it with a good profile, you'll get a really nice mechanical etch that powder will stick to. If you can, to me, the best way, if you could do this on everything, it's not cost effective. You're not going to make money doing it this way, especially with what people are willing to pay. But if you have a part and you clean it, sandblast it, phosphate iron or some kind of chemical pre-treatment, and then coat it, that is the best finish you'll ever, or the best adherence, chemical resistance you will ever get in a piece. Now, customers don't always want to pay for that. So I would say 90% of the stuff we do here, it is just cleaned and phosphated. That's it, rinsed and washed. Like our line system we have is a 2-stage. It's a iron phosphate wash etch, and then it's a city water rinse, and then it dries off, gets coated, goes through the machine or the oven, and comes back out. My daughter says, so I should go on live while I'm there, or so she's here and she can make me more famous. She probably could. I'm not really going for fame though, Avery. Not really. I'm already there. I mean, everyone knows who I am. All 8 people on this TikTok. Oh, we're down to 6. That's my bad. No, Hunter, Electron is everywhere, actually. So they don't have a distributor in Canada, but ctsainc.com, we sell in Canada. So check out our website if you want to buy there. We have had a distributor there, but they decided that they didn't have time for it, so they stopped selling for us. What sandblaster do you use? We're still in the Arbor Freight Splash. That's not, are you cabinet? I assume if you're a cabinet and you're suction, like it just suctions down, it's going to be really tough. You got to get a pressure pot. We had a pressure pot cabinet, and then we went to it's like a 1.5, I don't know, cubic foot, whatever, pressure blaster. And then we have a 10x10 room that I welded together that we blast. And we're not like high pressure though. My CFM in my shop's only 85, so we don't have a lot of high pressure going on. Thomas, no, we're not going to have any sales on Electron anytime soon. So we have other distributors and we all have to agree on it. So if you ever see a sell on one or talk to someone and they're offering a discount price, hit me up because they're not supposed to do that. Bye, Avery. Love you. That's my daughter. She just said bye-bye. But yeah, no, it's very hard to get sales now because we have to work with the other distributors. We're not allowed to go outside of the rules. Some of their sub distributors do though, which I'm not okay with. That's why you tell me if it happens. Richard, I'm almost ready to sell all my equipment. Delaware is the worst people you will ever know. Yeah. Richard, the only thing I can tell you is like just up your prices. Like choose your market. Your workload's gonna. I don't know if you're full time. I think you are full time. Your workload's gonna go down a lot, but you're gonna make more per project, and you'll have more time because you'll make more money to make sure that they're like pristine and perfect, and maybe that will bring in more word of mouth or something. I don't know why, but like when you go from that like lower level people want to pay $10 a part to the people that'll pay like $40, $50 a part, they find more. You get a whole nother group of people that will show up to get their stuff done because of the quality of work. All right, Martin, have a good night, buddy. We are using the Great Tank Pot in a Grow tent setup. I don't know what that means. I have no idea what that means. Thomas, we do have some financing on our site. And I don't run our site. Ray does, my partner, but I think we have like 6 months of no interest. I mean, that's not bad. The most difficult piece or project I've ever done. It's probably like two-tone stuff, like wheels. We did running boards one time where they were like a texture black and they wanted orange just on the steps, and that was a nightmare. I think I redid that like 4 or 5 times for parts, but color-wise, it's usually golds. Golds are horrendous. They're either like if they collect too much in a corner or something, you'll get like that really dark look, and then they'll be too light somewhere else. It's so like any candy color, it's super hard to get it even. So I hate it. It sucks so bad. We don't do a lot of custom work anymore, and I don't miss it. It was, you don't make a lot of money for, like, you can charge more, but by the time you've redone it 3 times and you've nitpicked yourself to hell, like it's just not worth it. Like it's not a fun time. Not at all. All right, guys, you haven't given me much for where you'd like to see my channel go, but you're asking some good questions. Were you by yourself at the start of your business, or did you have some workers or partners early on? Hunter, I've never had a partner. When I first started my business, I actually had a yes, Ash, I can see comments now, but I'm trying to bounce back between 2 screens, so I might miss them if people type in too quick. When I first started, I was actually a wheel repair company. So I worked for an insurance company as an auto adjuster, had a really good paying, secure job. And I was just miserable. Did not like doing what I was doing. Didn't like driving all the miles in Iowa. I had to drive because we're very rural, so you're just driving everywhere. And I had seen somebody drop off a wheel at a body shop that they had refurbished after like getting it scratched. And I was like, what the hell? And I'm like, I didn't know that was a thing. So I started researching it, and there's only one company in the Des Moines area. And so I almost signed up with a franchise, but they were kind of yanking me around. And I'm like, if this is what it's going to be like, I don't want to be on this franchise. So I started, actually, my mother-in-law encouraged me to start my own company, which is weird because she's not for me like running my own company at all. She likes the security thing. But I got to give her credit. So I started my own wheel repair company, and I went out to dealerships and I found wheels that were curb rash, and I'd sand them out and liquid finish them. And then I got busy enough. I actually hired a second guy to work with me. We had a trailer with a paint booth in it that we towed around to the dealerships. And then everyone started wanting black wheels. And I had powder coated a little bit at home with an Eastwood gun, and I had like a household oven out in my garage. And I was like, well, we could do these. So my brother-in-law at the time, he's no longer my brother-in-law, had a powder coating setup. He just started because he did stuff for a John Deere company that he worked for. And so I went up there and I'm like, this takes too long. I got to drive really far. It takes all day. So I built my own oven, like this time of year, probably 9 years ago, I built a 5x5, 6-foot tall oven and started powder coating in a shop. And I did that by myself while my employee did the wheels. Then I hired my brother on when we bought this shop. And now we don't even do wheels. Like in 2020, that went away because dealerships were selling cars without fixing wheels. So I just sold it off, got rid of it. Now we just powder coat. But it was slow. I mean, I've been at it for 11 years. So it did not happen overnight. Is there a filler I can use on pitting before powder coating to weld everything? There are fillers. They're escaping my mind. There's one that Tiger makes. It's really thick and hard to work with. Someone help me. There's another filler. I can't think of the name. It's out in my shop. I don't like it. It's a 2-part. You mix it. I've used JB Weld in the past. You just want to make sure that you probably use a primer over it because I've had it bleed through. But like high temp JB Weld, you can mix it up, smooth it in there, and sand it flush. But then you might need a primer to kind of fill it out, depending upon how big your dents are. I would like to see you get back. Adam, I'm working on it. You missed that. So we're getting into the new shop. We're going to start trying to get back on the S10. I've lost passion and everything. Like I'm in a hole. I'm just so like trying to get stuff done. I would like to get back on the S10. I think it's going to be awesome when it's done. Bye, Quinny. Love you. My other daughter just left TikTok. I'm very boring. I don't know why they even watch. Eastwood sells a metal filler, pretty expensive. Just can't remember the name. I think I knew that. I haven't tried it. There's something I had written down somewhere, and I'm like, I want to try that because it looked easy to do or easy to spread. But yeah, fillers are not the same in the auto body world. That's for sure. Ash just asked if there's any tips on coverage. So with coverage, you want it to look like a suede jacket, if that makes any sense at all. And then use a flashlight and look through your part. So if you can see anything shining through your paint that's metal, that means you need more. And then as you get used to covering properly, you'll start seeing what it looks like dry before it goes in the oven. You'll have a better idea of what it should look like. Easy to work with and works great so far. Yeah. If you can remember the name, I think that was you that said that. Yeah. Let us know because I'd love to try something else out. I buy from Eastwood here and there. I'm always looking for a new filler. With this S10 we're doing, it sucks to use JB Weld on big old dents. And I'm not a body guy, so I can't like push them all out and that sort of thing. 11 years. Crazy. I just passed the first year of full-time work by myself. Yeah. Hunter, you're going to regret it. Powder coating is not easy. It wears you out. And then to try and grow a business where you have employees, I feel like I'm constantly hiring and training and hiring and training. And it's super difficult. It's not for the lighthearted, that's for sure. 850 likes on TikTok, guys. We only have 7 on YouTube. Well, if we don't get any more questions, I'm probably going to jump off of here. I'm 43 minutes in. Back in the day, I used to get like 20, 30 people on these lives on YouTube. And now we're at 13. We're struggling. Yeah, Hunter, I mean, that's why we do them. If you're ever looking for content and you have ideas, just let me know. I'm not going to call out the other channel, but I don't understand why people watch them. Like, I don't get it. Yeah, I have a school channel, which, Hunter, I'm not going to lie, I might be closing it because I don't feel like we're getting the people on there that I would like to get. It'd be nice if we could get a bunch of people in there so that we don't have people that are just heckling people like the Facebook groups. Like I don't even read those. I don't even see notifications because I ignore them in Facebook because I feel like everyone in there that runs those groups, they're doing it to try and make money or sell you something or I know the school community costs money, but I want people that are serious, and I'm still paying more than I make. So it's definitely not a profit opportunity for me by any means. And I love when I get the comments from people. They're like, oh, are you sold out and this and the other? It's like, do you guys realize, like, the people that say that, not you, the amount of time I put into the videos and the education and all that, it's for free. Like, I don't get paid to do that. I've had 3 sponsored videos on YouTube. On TikTok, we do a lot of like Vivor, I think is how you say it, stuff, but they're just like sending me free stuff and like, will you do a video on it? But I don't guarantee I'll review it. Like, I don't guarantee it'll be a good review if I do review it. So I can guarantee you anything you see on my TikTok or my YouTube is my honest opinion, or I would not share it. I would hide it. I wouldn't tell you about it if they were paying me to do it, but I just wouldn't recommend it. Like, I'm not going to recommend something I don't believe in. So, Heath, thank you, sir. I love sharing knowledge. I don't have a lot of it, but I'll do what I can do. James, thank you, sir. That's very kind of you. I feel like I'm just pushing product now on TikTok because I'm like, it's the only way I get views. Like, TikTok doesn't push you out unless you're like trying to sell something where they can make money. Lab metal, yes. That is the one I was trying to think of earlier. It's sold at more than just Eastwood, though. I've had some issues with it because they'll get super runny. Yes, Vivor over Eastwood. You can control the KVs more on the Vivor gun, and you can't do it on the Eastwood gun. So that's my big selling point. Also, I did a three layers of paint with that gun, and it had no back ionization. Granted, I know like to pull the gun back and to get a bigger cloud and to not hold my gun in one place. So like, I kind of know what to do. But still the gun did not overcharge apart, which is awesome. So I would definitely suggest. The commission on those is a joke, by the way. I've sold like $2,000 worth of those stupid guns, and I think I made $100 in commission on them. They're still a good gun, though. I didn't do it for the money. I just told people about it because I liked it. But we've sold there's been a lot of people buying them. Hopefully they understand. You also need an oven and powder to use them. You can't put liquid. I don't know if they know. I have no idea. Oh, what do we got here? I need to learn so much somehow. I'm just constantly messing up people's stuff and redoing. To be honest with you, Hunter, the best way to learn powder coating is to F stuff up and relearn it. I mean, just retry it and redo it. Heath, if you're looking for a new gun and you can afford a better one, I've got better options for you. But yes, if you've worn out the Eastwood or tired of it, for $70, just click into one of my other videos on TikTok that has a link. Buy it through there. I'll make $3 whole freaking dollars, and you'll have a little bit better gun. A do-it-yourself oven. Honestly, the best way to get in that for the least amount of money, if you have access to 220, is to do an old oven like a house oven. Otherwise, it depends on the part you're making. If you're making a small or powder coat in small parts, get like a toaster oven, like Walmart for $20. I mean, anything that will hit 420 degrees will be fine. You can also make your own out of just like sheets of galvanized metal and metal studs from like Lowe's. That's how I made my first one. There's a ton of websites out there that you can Google, and they have plans for ovens and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I mean, it depends on the size of the product you're coating. So, all right, guys, my phone's almost dead. My YouTube's basically dead. There's 8 of you guys looking at me awkwardly. I can see out there. We only have 7 likes, but there's 8 of you looking at me. Let me know. Send me a message on YouTube in the page if you guys are interested in doing more of these. I would like a little more interaction. I do appreciate the few of you guys who chimed in. Same on TikTok. Thank you guys for everyone that chimed in. Send me a message if you guys ever want to chat more. I love to do it. I like to talk to you, but I need the comments. Otherwise, I'm just talking to myself, so it's weird. But I appreciate every single one of you. Appreciate every single one of you guys, and I will catch you guys another time. Until then, check out the Right Now Powder Coating channel on YouTube And TikTok, same name, different host. I don't know how to end TikTok. How do you end a TikTok?